Bass Talk episode, and this is Bass Talk episode 6. So today I want to talk about something pretty important that I think a lot of anglers and folks probably forget to think about, whether they're on the water or even just bait fishing. And the topic today is going to be situational awareness. I'm going to keep this pretty short and sweet. But this is something I was thinking about the other day because I've been wanting to do another Bass Talk episode, and I wanted to cover an important topic, and I think this is a good one, so let's dive into it. So what do I mean by situational awareness? So what we're talking about here is the biggest thing is just always being aware of your surroundings. So whether you're fishing at a public pond, a public park, a public lake, or whether you're fishing off a back road or out in a bayou or a ditch or a creek that's kind of off the grid, kind of away from mainstream urban areas, is always being aware of your surroundings and looking for anything that makes you uneasy or that makes you yield some caution as to what could happen or what's going on. Because the last thing you want to do is get yourself in a position, one, where you might be in trouble with the law, or two, you might put yourself in a situation where there's other people and you don't want to be there. Something could arise or something could happen and you just get put in a bad situation that you can't get out of. So that's kind of what I mean by situational awareness, is just being aware of what's going on, being aware of what could happen, and being ready for if something does happen, how you're going to react and what you're going to do. And one of the big reasons I want to talk about this, and I'm going to play some clips here for y'all shortly, is because I never posted the footage, but back in probably February, maybe April, sometime earlier spring, I was out at one of the spots I've fished at for years, out on the bayou, years. I mean, I'm 25 now. I've been fishing this spot since I was probably 13 or 14, somewhere in there, and never had an issue. And I was out at this spot fishing, had just caught like a 2 or 3 pound bass, a pretty good one, was having a good time, wasn't bothering anybody. And a gentleman in his backyard across the creek was firing a BB gun at me. And it took me a second to realize what was going on, because the BB gun from that distance, it really sounded like a twig snapping. If you ever heard like an air-powered rifle, some of them kind of sound like a branch snapping. It's kind of like a high-pitched just break. And I heard a couple shots, but at the time I didn't realize that's what it was. And I had seen the gentleman in his backyard, and I was like, oh, he's probably just, bundling branches, cut some branches down off the trees, bundling them, twigs are breaking, no big deal. So I didn't even realize what was going on until I heard the sound, and I happened to look up, and I made direct eye contact with him, and he was standing on the edge of his fence, and he was pointing the BB gun straight at me. And at that point, it clicked in my head, holy cow, those sounds I'd been hearing were actually him firing a BB gun at me. Thankfully, he didn't hit me. Whether or not he was actually aiming at me or near me and trying to scare me off, couldn't tell you. But it's kind of a scary moment. I knew it wasn't a real gun, but looking over the fence and seeing this man pointing, an air-powered rifle at me when I'm just fishing. I mean, I had just released the fish. I wasn't being loud. I was by myself. I was just like, man, the nerve. What? I mean, it just blew my mind. So I immediately confronted him from across the creek, as you'll see in the clip, and said, I have a GoPro rolling. Basically, smile, you're on camera, and I could take this down to the police station right now. Unfortunately, what you'll see in the footage is with the GoPro, shoots a wide angle, stuff that's not that far away, appears much further away than it is. So you'll be able to see the guy moving around, but you won't actually be able to see him that well. I'll try to zoom in if I can. But I actually end up getting officers involved, because it's one of those situations where who else might he shoot at? What if there's some kids walking down there, a family? I mean, like I said, I was fishing down there when I was pretty young, so what if there's just a group of kids who are, young teenagers down there fishing, just firing a BB gun at them? What if they get hit in the eye or something like that? I mean, totally unnecessary, and it just blew my mind that happened. All in all, it was just a really unfortunate situation, because I really liked that spot. It hasn't really scared me to go back, but it's just one of those things. It's like, where you feel like you're going to have to watch over your shoulder, when in this case I'd have to be watching forward. I know exactly where he lives and where to look, but it was just one of those things, and that's why I bring up this point about situational awareness, is I'm glad I just I was able to put the pieces together quick enough to realize what was happening and not get hit. Not that it could have hurt, could have not. I mean, I don't know. But, you know, it's just being aware and just kind of watching your back, because you just never know. So that's a big thing to me. Wherever you go, whether it's a new spot, it's a spot you've been fishing for years, just always be ready. Let somebody know where you're going to be. You know, watch for people around. If you see people around, if they seem sketchy, if they seem like, you know, they're up to no good, or might be kind of hovering or following you around, you know, take caution of that, you know, and be smart about it. Don't corner yourself somewhere where you may not be able to, you know, not necessarily make a fast getaway. You might need to, but at least where you can walk away without drawing attention to yourself and the person, you know, who could be following you. And I mean, you just never know. You never know, especially in today's world. You never know. And you know, a lot of us, and this really goes out a lot to urban anglers, because a lot of us fish by ourselves, and a lot of us fish, you know, uncharted territory that we've never been before, and maybe no one else has been before. So, you know, checking to make sure, one, you're allowed to be there. If it's a spot you're not sure about and you still go, be aware of your surroundings, because you could be somewhere that you're not supposed to be. So don't be surprised if somebody runs you off or confronts you. You know, and don't start something if you're not supposed to be there. I mean, really, if you're not supposed to be there, you're not supposed to be there. You know, there's plenty of spots that are fantastic, and unfortunately some of them are against the law to be at, or it's someone's private property, and that's just the way it is. So I can't speak for everybody, but I always try to respect that. You know, last thing you want to do is get in trouble and get your gear taken away, or get a ticket, or go to jail, or something that's just not worth it. So again, like I said, the point of this video, and you guys will see in the clip, is just always watch your back. Doesn't mean you have to be a warrior out there and constantly, you know, assess every little thing that's going on, but be aware and be cautious of things that make you nervous or make your friends nervous if they're with you, and just be ready to make a quick decision and a smart decision. So with that said, let you guys check out the clips. And I should have one in there too of like kind of right afterwards of what was going on. And if you've had anything like this happen to you, you know, let me know in the comments down below. See what you think. And I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. And, you know, as always, stay safe out on the water. Nothing is worth injuring yourself, someone else, or risking your life. It's just not worth it. Keep a level head. And tomorrow's another day. So thanks for watching. Take care, tight lines, and we'll see you out next time. Peace.
Alright, this caught came off of here. I know you're not firing a BB gun at me because I got a videotape rolling right now. Huh? Am I right or wrong? Might just take this down to the police station. Let's see about that. This guy right here firing a BB gun at me in this backyard. On film too. Right there in the green shirt. Yep, right there. All right, guys, so talked with the officers. They were super cool. You know, last thing I want to do is pull these guys away, you know, from their jobs to, you know, report something that's, I mean, it's serious, but thankfully, you know, I wasn't hurt, nothing happened, but more the concern was that other people are down there fishing as well. Kids, families. I fished in this location as a kid, and you know, there's just a concern of, you know, who else is he firing at, and you know, what is he actually firing? Definitely a high-powered air gun. I don't know if it was a pellet gun or a BB gun, but it had that loud snap of like a pellet rifle, which I've shot some before, and that's what it sounded like. So the cops are real cool. They took down the information they needed, and they know where to go. And I don't know if anything's gonna come of it. I mean, the thing is, I told the officers, I mean, look, so he's probably gonna deny it, and they agreed. I mean, more than likely he will, because he doesn't want to get caught or get in trouble for what he did. The only thing that might prove it is the footage on the GoPro, which I still have to review. But boy, weird day, man. And the crazy thing is, like I said, is it lets me know now for sure that he has shot at me before, because like I said, I've been in that location and I thought it was kids just messing with me, you know, firing airsoft guns or something, because I could hear, I mean, I heard BBs like whizzing by my head. That's when I lost it. But I could hear them hitting the trees behind me at first, and I was like, where is that coming from? Maybe they're having an airsoft war in the trees, in the forest or something. I don't know what's going on. Then finally they started getting really close to like my face. And that's when I realized the shots were coming from across the creek that I was fishing. I didn't know where, I didn't know what house, I didn't know who was doing it. But now I know more than likely it's going to be the same guy. He probably does this to other fishermen too. I don't know who else he might do it to, but this time I saw him clear as day. We made eye contact and I had to holler at him because I don't want to get shot in the face with a pellet rifle. I mean, come on, I don't want to get shot with a pellet rifle at all. But I don't know, but you know, I kind of want to make this. I contemplated putting this up, but just, you know, especially for you folks that, you know, are urban anglers, which, you know, I call myself. I fish in a lot of areas. They're not a lot of places that aren't ponds. They're not lakes. They're runoff ditches and streams and creeks behind businesses and neighborhoods and things like that. So they're not necessarily the most user-friendly areas, you know, for fishermen or people in general. So just keep an eye out, you know, be observant, let people know where you're at. I don't know. It's the first time that, you know, I've put a face to the action that was happening and saw what was happening. So it's pretty weird. Well, guys, in conclusion, the officers did confront the individual at his house. He did admit to being in his backyard with a BB gun, and in fact, he was shooting in my direction. But the story he told the officers was he was just shooting at squirrels. Now, of course, I know this was a lie, as I caught him looking straight at me and pointing his gun straight at me, but without clear footage on the GoPro, there was really no point for me to try to pursue any further action or press charges. I just didn't think it was worth it. But what this goes to show you in this video and these tips is to be safe out on the water. Try to assess your surroundings as best you can and be aware of anything that makes you cautious, weary, or it seems like it could be a potential threat or hazard in the near future. So if you can, just try to be aware of all your surroundings and be ready to make a quick decision. Stay safe out on the water, guys. Thanks for watching.